Are you dreaming of cabin living? Maybe you just spent the 4th of July at a cabin. Maybe you have a family cabin, or you're dreaming about just a vacation property anywhere in the world. And you're just not quite sure how to make it happen. And you're wondering if it can become a reality. This episode, Beth and I are going to break down questions to ask yourself and steps to take if you want to turn a vacation rental or property into a reality. Let's dive in. You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in.
All right, Beth, so we are well into summer.
It's just 4th of July weekend. Hard to believe.
It's really hard to believe. And did anyone else rent a cabin or stay at a cabin? Or if you're in Minnesota, that's totally the vibe here right now, is lake living.
We don't leave town for the 4th of July, but Mark was pushing really hard.
Was he?
One of his friends owns a really cool property in Montana, and he's like, let's go stay there. And I'm like, no.
Really?
Well, because we have friends that always come to town, and they're in town now. And, then we're going on our 10-year wedding anniversary trip in a couple of days. And we're just like, it's too much.
It's too much. Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so many people, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you had big plans over the 4th of July. Maybe your family owns a cabin. Maybe you rented one.
Maybe you're dreaming of owning one.
Maybe you're heading somewhere this summer where you're renting a really cool, what is a vacation rental for you, but it's a really dream escape for whoever owns it. They get to use it and then rent it out when they're not using it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking all about today.
Yeah, that dream of owning that second property, that vacation property, or whatever you want to do with it, right? But that really dream and how to make it happen.
Well, and you guys are in the middle. You guys are literally in the messy middle of this right now up on the North Shore, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool and buggy.
But
and
cool.
Dirty. It's so cool.
But it's your happy place.
It is our happy place.
And so instead of just building one, you're building two places on one piece of land.
We are.
Which is it's so cool.
Yeah. And so we've talked about this a few times in the podcast, that whole adventure experience for us. And we're definitely in the thick of it right now, which is exciting, but it was a dream. And I think a lot of us have this dream of could I have that second property? I mean, Beth, we've kind of explored ideas throughout our friendship, where we would get one or what that could look like. And this was our, definitely all the stars aligned to have this be our first go at a second property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys and our family too, we've talked about having places outside of the country for, places to escape to and just go have vacations, but then also places that will make money when you're not there.
Yes. Which
would be
is ideal.
Dream.
If you don't have to pay for the place. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pays for itself. So we're going to talk all about that today.
We are.
So we have a top 3 list. We love our top 5, top 3, top 8, top 10 lists. So we're going to do top 3 today. So number 1, how would you use the property? Yeah.
So all things to think about, right? Is when we dream up, we can dream, I'd love to have a place in Fiji. Cool. Also, how would you use it? Is it reasonable? Could you do it, kind of thing? So, really thinking about first, how would you use it? What could that look like?
I've had so many clients over the years that just want cabins. They don't want to use it as a vacation, or they only want to use it as a vacation place. They don't care if it doesn't make money. For them, it's pure enjoyment. And a lot of times people in the Midwest, I feel instead of going away for summer trips, they just go to the lake.
It's so nice.
And it's their happy place. And if you have a place that's all year round, all weather, you can go up there in the winter and ice fish, or, depending on where it is, and go take advantage of all those activities.
Yes, definitely.
All year round.
Definitely. And people do that here. You're able to have that all year round season.
Yeah. I think people do it all over the country. It just feels maybe it's super prevalent here. But
we have a lot of lakes. We have a lot of outdoorsy. So if you're not familiar with Minnesota, if you're listening to this podcast and you're actually not familiar, you've never been here, it's very outdoorsy. But our cities also have a ton going on. So we've got that like nice combination of both, where you can have access to lakes and like really beautiful outdoors, and then you can also be like in the city within a reasonable amount of time.
And there's water everywhere.
There's water everywhere.
Which makes it really special.
It does.
I miss that when I lived in places like when I'm in Arizona visiting my in-laws, I'm like, there's not enough
no
water here.
Yeah.
And, a big man-made lake isn't going to do it for me. And then also when I lived in Puerto Rico, even though it was an island and you're surrounded by water, like there was not like any water on the island. There's like a teeny little retention pond. Yeah. But that was kind of weird, where there wasn't even hardly any green space, but like not really like big spaces to like stretch out.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Things you take for granted until you move back home and you're like, oh, I missed this. I didn't realize you even missed it.
Yeah.
So what else could you use it for? I mean, is it in a town? Is it close to a town that has a ton of stuff going on with like festivals all summer long? Maybe it's close to a town where, people own properties in Sturgis. Some family friends of ours, they bought an old schoolhouse in Sturgis, and they're all big motorcyclers, and they turned it I think it's a four suite is what they converted this old schoolhouse into. So each of the couples owns a suite. So they each own a quarter of the share of the building and the whole property in general. But then like during Sturgis, it's extra special because they've got all their biker friends out there. But I mean, like, what is the draw to where you want to live? And like, is it a draw? Is it drawing you there? Or like, are you a snowmobiler? Like, do you want to live close to snowmobile trails? Like, Mark was trying to get me to buy some property during COVID, and he kept on pushing that it's on the Gandy Dancer Trail. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Dancer Trail.
And he's like, it's a big snowmobile trail in the winter. And I'm like, well, we're not snowmobilers. And he's like, well, but snowmobilers could come rent our place in the winter when we're not using it. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, if you're thinking about how to like make money while doing this, or operate it like partially like a business and then your own use, thinking about all of these things ahead of time makes so much sense.
Right.
Yeah, and then you can flush out your ideas, and then, okay, so maybe we would do this just a little bit differently, or maybe we look in this location versus another location kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barndominiums are having their spotlight in the sun right now.
They are.
If you are into the barn, and my girlfriend in Texas, they call them barndos. She's like, we're going to build a barndo. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's talking about a barndominium. That's what they're going to have for their next property. She's like, we're not moving closer into the cities when our kids are gone. She's like, we're moving further out. Instead of 5 acres, we're going to have 25 acres at a minimum and build a huge barndo.
Wow.
But I'm like, okay, it's so cool that there's so many different ways to do it nowadays. And like, there's really no rules to it. Mm-hmm. But it's cool that people are really thinking outside the box. I'm a sucker for shipping containers. Mm-hmm. I don't know what cool. It would be like to live in them, but like I think they look really cool, especially when there's like multiples of them all attached together.
Yeah, like multi-level. There's one that's like right over a river. It looks so cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Like a river runs below it?
Yeah, river runs below it. So you can also just like, maybe you're getting land and throwing a camper on it. People do that a lot here. Like that's not out of the norm, especially, I'm guessing a lot of states are like that, but Minnesota especially, like that's not out of the norm that you would just toss your camper on land. We have friends that are just a little bit south of us on the North Shore, and their campers on their land, and they've put a pin in building because they have some other things going on. Yeah. But they know they will. But so in the meantime, they use their nice camper on their property, and they get to dream about what's next.
That's really cool.
Which is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. We have several friends that kind of do the same thing. And then if you don't want that to be there, it doesn't matter. You know, you can just, and you could take your camper somewhere else for the winter too.
Yeah. My camper, Beth, if you knew how many rolls of duct tape it is taking at this point to keep it together.
Tell everybody what's going on with your camper. Like you guys bought your camper a handful of years ago.
Oh my gosh, we bought that camper when Kaya was not even 2 during COVID. And we just wanted to be able, because we stopped traveling. We decided to stop traveling during COVID with her because we had a young child. And so we bought that, fixed it up a little bit. The fixes are pretty much gone at this point. And we took it up to the... You had cute
wallpaper in there.
Yeah, we were going to take like
didn't stick.
Oh my God. We were going to take it on a long like road trip.
Yeah.
And then we just decided to go to the North Shore. And we spent like weeks up there. And it was fantastic. And we've been using it ever since. So it's not coming home anymore.
And now like last summer, you lived in it last summer.
Yeah, we live in it, which it's totally fine and it works. And I'm so grateful. Like when we opened it up this year and it was like, oh, you're going to still work for us. We just need a few more rolls of duct tape.
Hang in there, baby. One more year.
Oh yeah, I'm like patting the side of it. I call it it's a Cub camper. If you look this up, it is like lower end, like. Yeah, it's lasted a long time, past its lifetime.
Past its useful life.
Give a little pat and say,
how
thank
old
you,
is it?
Cubby.
Is it older than you are?
I don't even know. No, not older than I am.
What year was it built, you think?
I don't even know.
Like 80s or 90s?
90s probably, maybe early 2000s, maybe. I don't really know the campers so well. Yeah. But that's what we live in, and
gotten
it works.
Every dollar out of it, though, which is so cool. Are you going to just drive it to the dump then when you're done?
That's probably what we're going to do, yeah.
Somebody haul it away on a flatbed?
Give it away for free. Maybe someone will take it. But I love the Cubby. I love a little Cubby.
It served you guys so well to be able to live on your property while you're building your cabins.
We're lucky because it's better than a tent.
Yeah.
And have you seen really sidebar? Have you seen what some tents cost? Woo! More than we pay for that camper.
No, I've not done any research on tents.
Nice dome, fancy. I'm like, Ryan, maybe. Are they? And then I'm like $3,000 or like $5,000
for a tent.
But they're those fancy, glampy things. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm good with my Cubby.
No, we had a rooftop tent for 5 seconds during COVID. Like when you guys got your camper, we had a rooftop tent. You did. And never once slept in it. Mark slept in it. He took one road trip during COVID.
Yeah.
And then he could just stay at a national park and just pop the tent open and stay there and shower in the river or something. I have no idea.
You just don't shower, but you just don't.
He probably didn't. No. But he's like, babe, let's go camping. I'm like, that's not really my jam.
Didn't he put like 6 fans in it for you to try to like coax you into going camping?
No, that was in the back of his truck. So we got rid of the rooftop camper, and then he like created this bed platform in the back of his 4Runner. And he's like, yeah, we can go camping like this. And I go, how do we get air in here? I'm like, I'm going to die. It's going to be so hot in here.
You're going to close everything. You don't have screens. You can't.
I'm going to eat and lie by mosquitoes.
Yeah, you can't. That's not a good idea.
I'm not doing that.
Unless you're waiting till October.
No. My idea of camping is like in a nice cabin or at a hotel.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the living or having the cabin to sleep in. It will be very nice.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be like luxury. It's going to be amazing.
Whether you want to rough it, for a few years, or you're just going right into buying something that fits your needs right away.
There's a million different options
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe more like attainable than you think too. That's also possible.
Well, number 2 on the list is how are you actually going to pay for it?
Yeah.
We talked about this on a previous podcast episode also, but we're just going to high level it here. So a lot of times that's the questions that I get from potential buyers. They're like, oh man, I'd always love to buy a cabin or buy a rental property. Like, what is that going to look like? Well, a lot of cabins are properties that never go on the market. They're like private sales. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times those sellers, and this could be, I'm not an accountant, so don't take my word for this, but like there could be some tax advantages maybe for the seller to do a rent to own with you. So then they're just getting money every month from you instead of getting a big lump sum. So like there's ways that a lot of sellers would consider a rent to own thing. You could get a loan from a local bank like you guys did with your property, especially if you're just buying raw land and going to build on it. Like you can't go to your regular You can't get a conventional, you can't call, Connor at Bell Bank Mortgage to get a normal type loan. He can actually do barndominium loans, by the way. Nice. So if you're in Minnesota, we can hook you up with that. But like you're going to have to deal with your small banks up north or wherever that is. But you had such an incredible experience.
We've had such an incredible experience this whole time dealing with a small bank, local bank up on the North Shore. And I was so stressed out. I shared this in the previous episode, how stressed out I was about this whole process. And it's just been really, really great. And just not being able to go to the people you know and trust as the first line was really hard. But like I used them to answer all my questions. Yep. And it was always, you have to call a local bank. I'm like, come on. Yeah. So that was that thing. But yeah, going to a local bank and getting that all figured out, and you might end up you might find out that they're easier to work with than you could have ever imagined.
Especially for self-employed people.
Yeah. And self-employed. And they also they're rooting you on. If you get a good one, they're rooting you on, which is really nice. It feels very collaborative, which is such a good feel.
They want you to infuse cash in their community.
Absolutely.
Why would they not want that? It feels like it's win-win for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, and going in and talking and we have to kind of shift things around, or this has to change, and the stress that comes with those conversations, and then them just meeting you with, okay, let's figure this out and let's go from here. So that building that relationship, that one-on-one, honestly is really nice, and you only get that at a local bank.
Yeah, you aren't going to get that at the big box banks. We aren't going to name any names, but you know what I'm talking about.
So that's an option too, just to go to them and start that conversation.
The other great thing is that so many people have an insane amount of equity in their homes right now. A lot of equity. Yep. So could you take a HELOC on your current home, a line of credit on your current home, to help fund maybe a down payment, no matter what that looks like? I will never forget sitting in a Tom Ferry conference years ago, probably 10 years ago. And he's like, get money in place for when you don't need it, because when you need it, you can't get the money that you want. So he's like, put a line of credit on your house. He's like, if anything goes sideways, you'll never get that line of credit if things are sort of in the shitter. It's just not going to happen. So get that line of credit in place. It's a really low fee up front, but then the money just sits there. It doesn't do anything. There's no payment on it unless you're using the money, but that can be a really good source for buying your dream property.
And just a good source to have in general. When you're up, get it. You're good to go, get it so you have it and use it if you need to. But yeah, it gives you that flexibility.
I feel like it's a great safety net.
It is a great safety net. And we've had on experts talking about house hacking and all of that too, which would be a good thing to go back to if you're considering this. I don't have the episode handy though, Beth.
I don't either, but yeah, those are really good
house
episodes.
Hacking for beginners and things like that. They really kind of just get your wheels turning of how I could make something work for me in a different way.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, how could you get this property to actually pay for itself? So, if you are listening to this and you're like, I just want a cabin, I don't want to share with anyone else, maybe number 3 isn't going to apply to you. But maybe you're like, okay, I'd like to enjoy it and have it make money. Talk about what you guys are planning on doing with your property.
Yeah, so our property we have this small, call it the small, the guest cabin. And that one's going to be completed first. And that will be one that we allow you to stay at, Beth. Yay.
Non-bug season.
Non-bug October, she's coming. Friends, family stay at, and then also rent. And then we have our main cabin, and neither one of them are huge. They're really thought out to be useful.
Intentional floor
plans. Yeah. And so we have that will be ours. Maybe I'll rent it down the road someday too. We could rent both, but for now, that's where we're sitting as a little one's the rental. And we love the area, right? We love the area. That's the number one reason. And we've even said if we decided not to rent this, it's okay. We would be okay. It's very exciting where we want to be. But because of the area, the market for rentals is really, really high. So then maybe I change my mind and we rent the big one too, or we kind of flip it. So we'll sort of see as it goes. But that's our plan, is that little one should be able to recoup costs for everything.
Which is amazing, because you said there's a lot of old motels in town that are booked all the time, just simply because there's not a ton of great housing options, and the area is drawing a lot more people just because it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and it's very different. If you're not from Minnesota, it's different than Central, a lot of cabins and stuff that's where I grew up going. Love it. Gorgeous lakes. It has Lake Superior, which feels more like it's an inland ocean. Sea. Yeah, it feels like an ocean. So it's a different.
What do you call it?
Feel.
The saltless sea.
Yeah, it's a saltless sea. It's technically an inland sea.
That's so cool.
It is. So that part of it too, you get a different group of people that specifically come there because it is that spot. So we're intentional about that of where we picked and meet proximity to town. You mentioned, where is it going to be? Is there a town nearby? Making sure that we were in a good spot there.
Yeah, and you have access to Boundary Waters. You're not far from there, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so you guys already love it. That wasn't even a question.
We love it so much.
But there's so many other people that love all the different things that there are to do there too.
Yeah, it's a jumping off point for the Gunflint Trail, which takes you to the Boundary Waters. And there's just so much stuff. And Grand Marais in general, the town is it's so cool. It's such a vibe, such an eclectic group of people and businesses, and not necessarily what you would expect that far north in Minnesota. So we really do love it, and it is a really gem of a spot. And it's also really fun to think about as a family building, like we've switched to mostly self-building, as a family building, so that Kaya is going to remember this process, and then someday it will be hers, right? Whatever she does with it is up to her. But just
cool.
knowing that like you were there for the building.
Yeah, that she had participated in that.
And I grew up as a kid going to grandparents' lake place and then my grandparents' cabin. So I have such fond memories of all of that too, which I think is also very Minnesotan. Like
It is.
You grew up your childhood doing that. So there's a way to like tie it all together, I think.
I love that.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend, one of my friends from when I lived in Tampa, and she ended up getting married kind of like in her 40s like I did. And now she and her husband are totally into like the mountains and hiking. They're like nature outdoorsy couple. They bought a place in North Carolina. And so they use it all the time and it's up in the mountains. But then when they're not there, they rent it out. And so what a great little retirement plan that they've got in place. There's an EXP gal in our group that is married to an Italian guy, and they have a gorgeous little condo right outside of Tuscany.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And so they're in Italy all the time. And so she's got this wonderful real estate team surrounding her. So like she can be in Salt Lake or she can be in Italy and she's still making money. She's still serving clients, which I think is really cool. One of my dreams, and I think I'd share this with Christy recently, and I would love to buy like a defunct old resort.
Yes. I'm obsessed with this idea.
There's so many of them all over northern Minnesota.
Oh my gosh.
Where it's like someone like sort of like aged out of the system, and you know, no one in their family really is like, I want to be a resort owner. Because I mean, it's probably
a lot of work,
a ton more work than I even can imagine. But like, I just want to get my hands on it and just make it be so cute. Like decorate the cabins and oh my God, I would.
So Beth, are you saying you're going to end up on the North Shore?
I've never been in the
Should
North
I order
Shore.
what?
I've never been to the North Shore. I've never been to Grand Marais.
Because you went to the Boundary Waters through Ely, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. You're gonna love it, really.
Probably.
Without the bugs, it's beautiful.
The vibe and everything.
Yeah, the vibe,
I'll
the
probably
shopping.
Totally love it.
It's cute, super cute.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be up there next with me, working on your own little like resort.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what that will look like?
Or maybe you'll go somewhere more tropical.
Like anytime I see like an old, even like an old motel that's just sort of like half-assed, you're like, oh God, this could be so freaking cute. And it's just like usually like right outside of a cute little town.
Yeah.
There's a couple of motels in outside of like the Garrison area.
Oh yeah, that's where my family cabin
like
was
on
as a
your
kid.
way up to like on the west side of Mille Lacs, which is one of our humongous lakes that we have up north. And I'm like, God, I just can't, like, I can't even stop the creative juices from flowing. Every time I drive past it, I'm like, okay, that's cute, but I could make that way cuter. So I mean, yeah, what does it look like? It's so different depending on what you're trying to achieve. And there's not really any rules to it, but there are a lot of really interesting properties out there. So like reach out. Like if this is something that's on your wish list, we've got connections all over the country. In fact, all over the world.
Yeah.
And we would love to help you find like that dream place. And don't even get me started. I'll
just
go
like
bonkers.
start like exploring options, right? Like what could this look like for me? You have a great HELOC person, just like really figuring out like what this could look like and when this could actually happen, and just start exploring it, because honestly for us, we thought it would take so much longer.
Yeah.
I told myself a story that wasn't real, and like maybe you're doing the same. Right. So
yes, it could be a reality way sooner than what you think if you're asking the right questions. And who knows? Who knows?
But if you're thinking about it, it's exciting.
Well, so
happy 4th week.
I know.
Happy we are in summer.
Yeah, this is summer.
This is summer. I'm just here for all of this. I know you are too, Beth.
If you have a friend that's been talking about forever, talking about buying a cabin or buying an investment property or a second home, share this episode with them. Maybe this will just be that little spark to ignite something in them that will get them off their butts, and they'll buy a property that you can go stay at.
Yeah, and shoot us exactly right, and shoot us a message if you have more questions, because we're happy to answer any of them for you.
We love this.
All right.
So, until next time, bus bench babes.
Remember to keep your face off a bus bench.
And keep being the badass boss babes that you are.
Okay, girls. Are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl, Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us, and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.